Alright, so this is my movie review of Do the Right Thing. Um, Starts with a brief summation of the movie. So basically, the movie takes place in Brooklyn, New York, and it has this pizzeria named Sal's Famous Pizza, and it has a group of um, black people, it has a group of um, Italians, it has a group of Puerto Ricans, and it has like the NYPD basically. Those are like the groups of people. I'm reading the question marks and going down the list. So basically, there's this guy named Monkey, which is like one of Sal's employees, and Sal has two sons. So they like go back and forth a lot, and at the end, it just like causes way too many issues, a lot of racial issues, and at first Monkey was trying his best to like side with Sal. Like throughout the entire movie, he was like helping anybody that would go against him, and they kind of like thought it was oh it's a farce, like um, I've helped out this community so much, like how are they gonna go against me kind of thing. And Sal, in like near one of the final scenes, he just like crashed out, broke Radiohead's boombox basically, and because like earlier in the movie he told him not to play the music, and he kind of tested his luck because he was like, I want some black historical figures to be on the Wall of Fame. There's only Italians, and so he broke it. Radiohead basically decided to like go on an outlash, grabbed him, pulled him across the table, and just started like just choking him while the other guy was swinging at him. He was just trying to knock him out in a sense. And then police got involved. Long story short, Radiohead dies of police brutality, basically. And I might bring up some other stuff later on again, just because it's pretty important. How historically accurate is this movie? I would say it's really accurate to what life was like in Brooklyn in the 1980s. However, it's not based on a true story. It's all fictional. Um, it still has merit and value because it shows the social systems and the classes and what it would be like in the daily life of these people. How do the events found in the movie reinforce or disregard themes found in the course lectures, the textbook? So, I didn't really find anything that was in our sources that would like really talk about social classes that much uh, in like the United States. Maybe I missed one. But I guess something that would be similar would be like apartheid, where it had white Europeans in South Africa, and they wanted to like coexist. They tried their best efforts to coexist. The Italians, Puerto Ricans, like African Americans, but at the end of it, they couldn't. And even Asians. I forgot to mention the Asian group. The Asian group is somewhat important later on. Describe how the movie portrayed at least one of the following. I'm gonna do all of them. So, government, who wields the power, NYPD, and at first they were like, cool, like it's fine, you know what I mean? Like they broke the law, but it's not that big of a deal. Like, but he was like, the next time you guys break the law here, this and that, you guys are gonna see what happens. Thought it was a bluff when I was first watching it, but it really showed how much power they really have and how powerless um, the minority was. Because once Radiohead died, like there was not really much of a report. And it's just like, oh, he died, and then like all the people were like, how is this fair? How is this justice? And he's like, he died because of you, and he's like, no, he died because um, your friend kept trying to do a riot, basically. This was a very controversial message in Brooklyn at the time when the movie did come out too. Um, Social class, who had access to wealth and who didn't. Um, the Asians had a lot of access to wealth, And in fact, near the end of the movie, after the destruction of Sal's pizzeria, they were gonna be the next target, but they seeked out peace. At first, they defended themselves, which at the end of the movie, it talks about Malcolm X, where he's like, um, violence is not something I agree with, but if violence is in the name of self defense, then it's not violence. I agree with it and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, well, nice portrayal of how they use it. And Sal's, the Italian people, had a lot of money. Like, even at the end, he started throwing money at Monkey because he was like, yeah, I'll give you 500. You'll be the richest man, all because you decided to destroy my place. Like, making fun of him, being like, oh, like, you're just here for the money. Like, whatever. He was like, no, I'm going to go back to my son and this and this and that. Oh, and there was like, a disabled person that didn't have money, and he was trying to sell pictures, and it basically affected his life in the sense that he was always begging for money in a sense, and it would give him a negative view because he would get bullied a lot. Gender. How are men and women's sexuality and the family portrayed? Okay, so there was a big portrayal about gender. Our main protagonist, basically, I would say, Monkey, has a wife and kids, like one kid, and Sal had two kids. So family has a big incorporation. Everybody was so tied in New York, you know what I mean? Local neighborhoods and all that. History goes way back. So, and then gender was like the women took care of the children. Um, the main character was kind of a deadbeat dad, but he like came through near the end, especially. And the other person that would be in that section would be the sister. She was very like she would give advice, and even at the beginning, the mayor gave advice to Monkey, said do the right thing, so we got that off the jump. And then culture. How is the economy are different from nations, religions, races, or ethnicity? So, nothing different between nations, because it was just about New York, Brooklyn. Oh, religion's only sister. I even forgot her name, but she was like, I guess Christian. I don't know. That's like the only mention of religion. Religion barely gets mentioned. Races, big big portrayal. The people that were seen as superior were like themselves, no matter what. Like if it was the black guy, like the African American, he was like, I'm superior, in a sense, or we're just like equal. They mainly wanted peace, but of course, it's like you kill, you kill one. It's kind of hard to make peace after that. But the Italians saw themselves as superior. So did the Asians. So did the Puerto Ricans. There was always like a sense of superiority and inferiorness to others. It's in the New York police department. um, so my first source was the mapping inequality. So at first in Brooklyn, there was like some just rich people in there, and then eventually they started allowing like Hispanics and Latinos and African Americans to go in, and then this like plummeted so they started moving to the suburbs. The rich white people started moving to the suburbs, and then once they settled in, like this dropped the economy and all that. They decided to move back to actually screw them over even more, which really sucks. And then networks, cities in the 1980s. So the network cities was more about racial like discrimination. There was a lot of people that just died and were like police brutality, and it's just like whatever, like oh big deal, it happens. It really shows just how lack of care that they had for an individual's life, basically. And then 3 crime in the 80s. So I also did a YouTube video. Well, I watched a YouTube video as one of my sources, and they just mentioned drugs and how there was a heist, and in like in somebody's business they had a group of people where they had like drug trafficking going. The owner had no idea, so he was like super shocked, and it was just like the crime rate after like 1970s just went up super high. Even in my source mapping, number one, inequality, it talks about how the crime rate went high, and then the second source talked about gentrification, which basically just like I forgot exactly the meaning of gentrification, but I guess it's just like the rich people kind of came back in to like just pester, in a sense. I don't know, not too much about that. Should have read a little more. But yeah, that's my movie review. I think my main argument for this movie review would be that this is a really good movie, and it is historically accurate, although it's fiction. It portrays the life of what happened in Brooklyn in the 80s very, very well.